Hello, welcome to Tonalist Landscape Painting with M. Francis McCarthy. This is your painter in residence, M. Francis McCarthy, and the painting I'm bringing you today is called Meadow Path, and I completed this last month, I'd say October, and we're getting kind of close to the end of November here. You know, it all seems to go pretty quick when you're getting into those last months of the year, but been a good year for me. A lot of growth, and growth is good, especially when it's, you know, growth in the direction you want to be going and not in a direction you don't want to be going. And now a little bit about this Meadow Path scene. I have painted this scene several times in the past. It's based on a reference photo I took back in 2011, and I have to say this is the third time I've taken a crack at it. I've done it as a 12 by 18 with a 5 by 7 study. I know the 5 by 7 study for that. I don't remember what happened to the 12 by 18. Maybe I still have it. I don't really know. I have a second study I did maybe 2 years later here on my wall, which is pretty good. It's got a few issues, but you know, all in all pretty good. And at that time I did a 9 by 12, which I know I still have as well. And you know, the characteristic of the 9 by 12 and the 12 by 18, as I recall, was they had good and bad things about them, and they weren't so bad that I felt like throwing away or destroying the paintings, but they weren't good enough either, in my view, that they weren't as good as I wanted them to be. And I'm really happy with this little 6 by 8. I have to say it turned out well, and it's got a lot of this glowing tonalist quality I want. And I guess I should mention the problem. I'm looking at the study that I did about 3-4 years ago right now. It's on my wall here in my home office, and it has the big issue, really almost the only issue it has, is that I painted the grouping of trees in the distance too dark. It needed to be scumbled, and or painted in. I mean, if I didn't do scumbling, it needed to be painted with a significantly lighter value than the trees in the middle ground, and I didn't do that. So I could do it, but sometimes I just leave things alone, you know, because it shows me I progress. I mean, I do have a big box of paintings in the studio of studies I'm going to fix up. I've already done that to about 30 or so, which I did some photography on last night, and I'm going to be probably rolling a lot of those. Though some of those look really, really good. They look, if I don't say so myself, they look really good. And I think I'm going to be rolling a bunch of those out on Art Finder. In fact, tonight I'm going to have to do like a picture that shows the painting, like I have a little setup with some plants and stuff. If you've been to my store, you've seen that setup. I try and do that for a lot of the different shots. Yeah, speaking of my store, if you haven't been to my store lately, there's some good stuff there. Still not too late to buy some for Christmas, hey. And same thing goes for the mailing list. That's pretty easy to join up. If you hang out on my site for more than 10 seconds, a pop-up's going to come up. And by the way, I've recently adjusted that so that the pop-ups only hit you once a week or so. And I believe that stops at such time that you've joined the mailing list, but I could be wrong there. I mean, I'm kind of good. I'm okay with tech stuff, but I'm not a tech guy. I'm an artist who uses tech to share his work with the world, or share his world with the work. I don't know. Either way, that's what I do with tech, and so I'm pretty okay with it. But when it starts getting a little heady, you know, sometimes I have to bail. Anyway, very happy with this painting I'm sharing with you. Maybe the last one from October I haven't shared anywhere yet, and I think it's because I was kind of holding off to do a little longer form video. I was, well, first we were doing the Tonalist Minute, then we called it the Landscape Painter Minute, and now I'm just back to doing videos that are, this one's going to be about 11 minutes, but yeah, 7, 8, 9, 10 minutes, 11. Maybe some days I might feel like doing a 15. It depends on how much I have to say. The ones I'm doing during the week, I think shorter's better, because a lot of times I come home and do those at lunchtime. Come home from the studio and do my social media blitz, which always pivots around the videos I share and the corresponding paintings. Oh, the other thing I wanted to indicate, started a new blog on my site last week, and the old blog is there too. If you click over the word blog on my, the title bar and on my site at landscapepainter.co.nz, you'll see new blog, old blog. Old blog is what's called an iframe, and it's the blogger site that's been injected into my website. But I've had to bail on Blogger. It's just, I started with Blogger many years ago, and there's a lot of things I like about Blogger, but Blogger really hasn't kept up with the times. And also the thing that sort of I don't like about Blogger is that it's not on my site. It's basically owned by Google, and basically it's on their site. So when I publish a blog post now using Squarespace, it's on my website, and it's helping to support my site. And I am trying to encourage people to go to my site, hang out at my site, go to my blog there, and on the blog you're going to have some higher resolution images of the painting I've done. All the videos are kind of in a row, so that's pretty handy too. And actually all the blog posts in a row, so you can look at the pictures, watch the video, and just keep scrolling. You're only gonna be able to scroll for about 7 days worth, but right now, because I just started the blog last week, but you keep scrolling, because I'm going to keep publishing content. I love to do it. I really do love to share my work, and that's where I'm putting the focus with the blog. And the thing I like too about the Squarespace blog is it self-publishes to Facebook. So and Facebook, I got a love-hate with Facebook. I love it because you can publish your work there, but I hate it because you really can't grow an audience there without paying for advertising. So I guess there was a time, I don't know, but that's how they're making their billions and trillions of dollars. So, and one day I might do that. I don't know. It depends. These days I'm just happy to continue sharing what I do on Facebook, Instagram. I like Instagram because Instagram is first of all kind of stripped down. I just like how it's image based, and you can deposit your content and then come back later. It's not like it's not really real time, although it can be real time. I mean, it's interesting. I really like Instagram. Maybe it's because I'm an artist and it's visual, but I actually am putting more direct efforts into Instagram. Speaking of, if this video is too long for you, I do 1-minute videos on Instagram, so you can get the whole thing in a minute. And I was doing audio on those videos, but it's first of all, I don't think anyone was hearing it because you actually have to turn the sound on. Second of all, about all I have time to say in 1 minute is go to my site, join my mailing list, go to my store, buy a painting. By the way, if you do join my mailing list, you have access to some videos that you do not have here on YouTube. So if you're into what I'm doing, there's one video, very extensive there, 2 hours, over 2 hours long, high def, and it's just me basically doing a painting, and I've got the palette up. So some of you may have seen that when it was up here briefly on YouTube at a lower resolution, and unfortunately I had to take that down. But you can get access to that by joining my mailing list, and you'll get access to the subscriber area. And that video's there, and another video that shows the technique that I utilized to like texturize the board that we're looking at me painting on right now. So if that interests you, you can see how I came up with that, and you know, kind of pivot off of it. I mean, I think it's a technique that would lend itself to, by the way, you can see the scumbling in the background there, and how that pushes those trees back, which is just what we want, just what we want. By the way, this is a painting I'm probably going to rephotograph. You're going to notice that the bit of a glare on the textured areas of the dark. I mean, you can see it in the video here, which is common, but you'll also see it in the beginning and ending scenes, and yeah, that's a problem that I was getting with this new photo room, and it's just too small a room, basically. I'm getting glare off of the walls no matter what I do, the walls on each side of where I'm shooting, so I may come up with some ideas on that. We'll see how it goes. Anyway, for now, I'm back in the garage to do the big final shots. Anyway, hey, thanks for joining me for this slightly longer form video, and I hope you're having an excellent Thanksgiving weekend if you live in the US, and if you live in Europe, you know, hey, Christmas is coming, holidays are coming. It's all really fun. Hopefully you're getting a chance to get together with your family and enjoy them. I'll be back tomorrow with a probably shorter video, so meanwhile, please take good care and stay out of trouble.